Where is it born? The fire, the hunger that grips an individual so intensely, it drives his entire team. Two men lie at the heart of the NBA championship. Each has traveled a vastly different path. Each has pulled his team to the same point in time. Michael Jordan permits nothing but success, a national championship at North Carolina, 2 Olympic gold medals, 3 times the NBA MVP, twice a world champion.
My main driving force is to win 3 in a row, and certainly somehow put myself in the elite category of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Charles Barkley's road has been less satisfying. His days at Auburn brought little glory. His NBA career largely squandered on a team that could not win. Yet this year brought a new sense of destiny, a gold medal, a new team, the MVP.
The bottom line, the MVP is not my goal. If we don't win the world championship, I'm going to be crushed.
2 men, 2 paths, but 1 trophy. Only 1 champion.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1993 NBA Finals. Tonight, Game 1 between the Chicago Bulls and the Phoenix Suns.
Here's the brand new America West Arena, host to the finals in its first year as the Suns' home court. Phoenix had the NBA's best record this year, and the Suns have home court advantage in this series. Still, they're decided underdogs in the finals to the defending champion Bulls. And here comes the home team. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Costas, and welcome to the NBA Finals. In the case of the Chicago Bulls, it's welcome back for the 3rd year in a row. They seek, as you know, to become only the 3rd team to win 3 NBA championships in succession. To join George Mikan's Minneapolis Lakers of the early 50s, who won 3 straight, and Bill Russell's Celtics, who reeled off an untouchable 8 straight in the 50s and 60s. From the Celtics' last title of the Russell era in 1969 until the Lakers of 87 and 88, no NBA team had won back-to-back. But the last 6 years have produced repeats by Los Angeles, Detroit, and now Chicago. And now the Bulls try to separate themselves from an already elite group and move up a notch in history by eclipsing the Suns for number 3. Phoenix, meanwhile, has been in the finals only once before, losing to the Celtics in 1976. So they'll try to become champions for the first time in their 25-year history. The focal points, of course, are Barkley and Jordan. Barkley is the NBA's most quotable player, and he's been as accessible to the press as ever leading up to tonight's Game 1. But the news is that Michael Jordan has broken his 2-week media silence by sitting down with Ahmad Rashad for a lengthy interview that you'll see at halftime. Here's a quick bite of it as he responds to the criticism of his trip to Atlantic City 2 weeks ago.
Ahmad, I mean, I think one thing that a lot of people tend to forget, and even the media guys, they don't know what it takes to play the game of basketball. They don't know what it takes to prepare yourself to play the game of basketball. My teammates do. My loyalty is to my teammates. And I must prepare myself so that I can show that loyalty to the team. And I must do whatever I feel is my correct method of doing that. And it was a means of relaxing with my family and my friends, and it got me ready to play the game. I think the media took it out of context. A lot of people say, well, maybe you shouldn't have done it at that particular time, or, it was just a bad scenario. Well, no one knows what's good and what's a bad scenario unless you're the person that's actually going through that scenario. And I felt it was good that I get away. It just so happens that it was Atlantic City, and people took that further than what it should. Yeah, I had to accept that, and I did, but I didn't let it affect what my main objective was, and that was to go out there and show loyalty to this team, to my teammates, and get us to the next level.
We'll give almost the entire halftime over to Ahmad's interview with Michael Jordan. Right now, we'll give the broadcast over to Marv, Mike, and Magic. Marvelous.
All right, Bob, and first to a man who has made it to the NBA Finals 9 times. And Magic, I know you spent much time chatting with the likes of Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley in your days as members of the Dream Team in Barcelona. And I would think there have been several conversations, animated conversations, on the subject of winning a championship.
Well, when we were in Barcelona riding home from practice one day, Charles Barkley stood up and said, hey, the Phoenix Suns will be in the World Championship. So he was feeling good about himself until Michael Jordan then stood up and said, look, Charles, there's only 4 guys on this team with World Championship rings, and you're not one of them, so sit down.
What about the friendship between Jordan and Barkley? How will that be effect of this series?
Well, Charles Barkley has said all week long that Michael and him are going to go play golf. They're going to go out to dinner. But in 1988, when Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons met the Lakers, it put a strain on our relationship. My teammates were wondering if he went to the basket, would I hard foul him to see if I really wanted to win? And I can say right now that it did affect our relationship.
All right, Mike, we have focused on the 2 superstars, Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, but this is a series that certainly could be decided by other people.
Mark, no question that Barkley and Jordan will draw the most attention. They'll also draw the most double teams. So other players must step up and produce, as happened in the last round for both teams. For Phoenix, it was Kevin Johnson who, against the Seattle Supersonic defense, continued to penetrate for scores, or at the appropriate time, got to the defense and then dished off to his teammate Charles Barkley. For Chicago, as Michael Jordan struggled against New York's defense, it was Scottie Pippen who hit 2 game-winning shots. Game 4, the off-balance one to win that one, and then in Game 6, a critical 3-pointer with a minute remaining in the game to seal victory for the Chicago Bulls. So again, it'll be those other players, the supporting cast, that will decide the championship round. And Magic, I'm going to give 2 awards out before we even get started. The Purple Heart Award goes to Dan Marley, who has to guard Michael Jordan, and the Red Badge of Courage to Horace Grant, who matches head up against Charles Barkley.
All right, we are set to get underway. For Charles Barkley, the goal is that first championship ring. For Michael Jordan, the quest begins for 3 in a row.